So I said I would do towards the end of the week a video about world news and current affairs. That's like world news, things that are going on around the world right now. I've been meaning to do this bit for a long time, and this video does end up going for about half an hour or so, so be it, because there are a few bits I want to cover. Firstly, well, including the Malaysia, Russia and Ukraine, a couple other bits. Firstly, the Malaysian Airlines flight MH370. Now, this has been a horrendous situation. It really has been. Of course, everybody knows the story around the world. What this is, what I'm talking about, and that's the international passenger flight that was supposed to go from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing on the 8th of March, and to this day, and I'm speaking right at the end of May, it has not been found yet. Not a hide nor hair of it has been found, as we say in the UK. Hide nor hair of it, it means that there's been no piece of it found. There's not a slight hint of where it could be, and there's even been an update today before I was going to do this video about that. The flight was MH370, was supposed to take off from Kuala Lumpur going to Beijing, and a flight that would take approximately 6 hours, approximately about 6 hours 12 minutes is the usual average time for this direct flight. Obviously there's many different routes. It's like when we're going to America, and then you got to go one way to let the you got to go one way for the inbound flights, and then there's another kind of way you go for the outbound flights. But average is between those two places on direct flight is 6 hours and 12 minutes approximately. That is an average I checked up. The aircraft is a Boeing 777-200ER. It was carrying 12 Malaysian crew members and 227 passengers from 14 nations. Now, a lot of theories have gone on about what has happened to this flight. Obviously, any situation like this, people will speculate, people will make rumours. I do feel the most sorry for all of these families of the passengers and the crew, and those who really do not know what happened. Nobody knows exactly what happened. It's like something happens on the news, and then a couple of days later, a television channel will say, oh well, we'll produce a quick documentary saying this is the truth about what happened, when we all know, like a murder or something, as an incident happens, we know that the police and the authorities are investigating it, but we don't know. So sure as hell, a television channel, especially here in the UK, like Channel 4, because they had one like that, they don't know what the hell happened. They truly don't know what the hell happened, but they still claim to do that. But it is a really sad situation. This was 8th of March. This is now about the 29th of May. No sign of it whatsoever up till now. I'll go through quickly the nationality of the passengers. As I said, there are 227 passengers. The total people on board by country: for Australia, 6. Canada, 2. China, 152 passengers were Chinese. There were 4 French, 1 from Hong Kong, 5 from India, 7 from Indonesia, 2 from Iran, 50 from Malaysia, obviously including the flight crew, 1 from Holland or Netherlands, 2 from New Zealand, 1 from Russia, 1 from Taiwan, 2 from Ukraine, and 3 from the United States. Obviously it's a really sad situation. I really do hope, because in the last few hours today, the authorities have said the plane does not seem, they're ruling out that the plane is at the bottom of the ocean, at least where they thought it was. Apparently it's a bluefin 21 submersible robot has finished the search of the area that we're looking in and found nothing. I do hope that they do find it. Everybody knows the story of the missing child, and she is still missing. Madeline McCann, English, half Scottish, little girl who went missing in Spain about 8 years or so ago. I know it's quite a few years ago now. She's still missing. Nobody's heard or seen from her. Investigations are still ongoing. That is one of the worst situations to be in, where something like that happens and you have no idea what happened in that situation. So I really do feel for the families. Obviously, the families hung around the airport for the first couple of weeks. I think it's obviously some of the families still hang about, maintain a vigil in the relevant areas. It really is a sad situation, and I do hope, like I said, they do find the plane. It seems quite apparent at this point, sadly, that everybody is probably no longer living. It's quite good that it did crash into the ocean. If they were hijacked, which was of course one of the many theories that went around, I'm sure that we would have heard from hijackers, or it would have been seen to land, or we would have heard of some communication regarding the situation from a terrorist group, or some freedom fighters, or some group, some authority that they'd had inklings that this had happened. They had received communication or whatever, intercepted even, or whatever. They'd found evidence or facts to show that it's happened. But so of course, my best wishes to all the families. It is a real horrendous situation to be in. Now, talking about horrendous situations, Operation YEWTREE. Now, I want to talk about this because some people may be aware of this. It's happening here in the United Kingdom. Operation YEWTREE. YEWTREE is spelled YEWTREE. It's a police investigation into sexual abuse allegations, predominantly the abuse of children, against British media personalities. Now, this all started after the death of famous disc jockey, television presenter, radio presenter, charity fundraiser Jimmy Savile, who fronted a very popular show in the UK called Jim Will Fix It. Basically, you would write in a kid or somebody who's ill or has some disability, and he would grant them wishes, whether to meet their favourite rugby or football personality or showbiz personality, to be able to press the button to demolish some some building towers, to do various things, to meet their heroes, to have a good time. Like I said, especially those who were ill, maybe terminally ill or very seriously ill, and he would, for many years, for about 20 odd years, he presented the programme, and they were able, he made those dreams come true. Well, after he died in 2011, some women came forward and claimed that he'd abused them. Now, I'm no expert legal-wise. I've not spoken to any of these. I don't really know the evidence regarding this, so I can't say whether it's certainly true or not, because I've said it before on this YouTube channel. Many people come forward to make claims that are absurd and ridiculous, whether it's being abused, and I know there are people who are abused, and I'm not saying that every one of them makes it up, because I know for 100% certainty that they don't. There are many people who do get abused, and that is a sad situation to be in, and hopefully somebody would be able to help them out of that situation. But you get claims like people like films have copied their ideas or copied their books, and later on we find out they're completely without merit. They're obviously they're false claims all the time. But those who, like I said, those who do make the real genuine claims, I have no problem with them coming forward and doing, and I would hope that they would find the courage to do so. Obviously, they couldn't really do anything against Jimmy Savile because, like I said, he passed away. So they really couldn't do anything too much. Obviously, they took the evidence and they looked at it. But that has spawned, to cut the really long story short, that has spawned a huge investigation into many different personalities, celebrities in the United Kingdom. Some actually very famous ones. Mostly regarding like the 70s and the 80s, 1970s to the 1980s, and big names who were big then. They have apparently like identified over 400 lines of inquiry, possibly about over 200 victims in this whole thing. And many of the many big famous names, and even one on trial right at this moment. So obviously I'm going to say it right now, and I was going to say it anyway. But anybody, just to cover my ass on this, anybody who is alleged, who is found, has made allegations against anybody who has made these types of allegations against are obviously innocent until found guilty in a court of law. But there are big names that have been involved in this. Gary Glitter, former glam rock pop star, and he is, and I can say this publicly without comeback, it is in public record. You can just go search through it, Google, Crow, whatever you want, Bing, whatever you use search engine, you could find this. He is a convicted sex offender. Gary Glitter, former glam rocker, he is a convicted sex offender. He's apparently on bail until June, until next month. Freddie Starr, comedian, he was arrested in total 4 times. There's going to be no prosecution against him, according to the prosecution service in England. He and his spokesman and everybody strenuously denies all and any allegations against him, and certainly, as I said, he will not be prosecuted. He will not face further actions against this. I do believe that it's possible that he is innocent of this stuff, any stuff or any allegations. Just the way that I've seen it in the media, it is certainly possible and probable actually that he is innocent. But he was arrested a couple of times, and they said no prosecution will be made against him. So obviously there's no evidence to support it, but he was one of the ones really caught up in this. Dave Lee Travis, disc jockey, radio and television presenter. He was arrested, later released on bail. Police said the allegations against him were unrelated to Jimmy Savile, but had come up through the lines of inquiry in related matters. His matters have not been linked to children, though. Following a trial at Southwark Crown Court on 13th of February 2014, Travis was found not guilty, I repeat, not guilty, that's innocent, on 12 counts of sexual assault, with the jury unable to reach a decision on a further 2 counts. So David Lee Travis was found not guilty in the end of the court of law. Max Clifford, a very well known publicist, a public relations king really. He has any hint of scandal or public relations disaster, you normally see Max Clifford hanging around it, or he is hired by whoever is involved, and he really is a public relations master. He, for many years, and here in the United Kingdom, and I'm trying to talk to this about for people a little bit outside the United Kingdom. Max Clifford's like a public relations guru. That's the word I was looking for, a guru. Really real master of public relations. He denied what he termed damaging and totally untrue allegations. On the 26th of April 2013, he was charged with 11 indecent assaults against girls and young women between 1965 and 1985. On 28th of April 2014, Clifford was found guilty of 8 charges of indecent assault, acquitted of 2 charges of indecent assault. That means charges were taken away, and the jury was hung undecisive of 8 charges of indecent assault. The jury was hung on one charge, a single charge, other charge of indecent assault. Jury said undecided about that other charge. On the 2nd of May, he was sentenced to 8 years imprisonment at Southwark Crown Court. So, on the 2nd of May, he was on the charges that he was found guilty of. He was jailed for 8 years. Apparently, his wife was partly going to divorce him. I said there's quite a few other names as well. Jim Davidson, a famous comedian with a bit of a dodgy past. He's had his personal demons. I shall put it because I don't want to really go into every detail of that. But Jim Davidson has had personal demons. He was arrested as well, but no action will be taken against him. I think it's more of a probably. Some of them, I think, that I've not included as well, were arrested more because they were around in that time period, the 1970s to 1980s. Some big names who were, you get it now, even nowadays, they go around, you're invited to bashes, you're invited to events, like charity events, or television awards, or all these events. You get to know, maybe perhaps, people who are on other television channels or other programs, or that you get to know them, you maybe become friends with them. I think he was one of the ones that were arrested or certainly questioned because he was around about that time. He has had a few details. You can look into that yourself if you want. Jimmy Tarbuck, the comedian, he was also arrested. He was released without charge again. It seems no prosecution on him again. He is another one who seemed to be just basically he was a really famous comedian, really good comedian, but in terms of telling jokes and that, he seems to be another one that was questioned because he was one of the really big names around about that time in the 1970s and 1980s. Now, I can't really say too much about this because it's an ongoing trial, but Rolf Harris. I'm sure many people around the world will know the name Rolf Harris, an Australian-born musician, singer, songwriter, painter, television personality. He was arrested in late November 2012. Since the 6th of May this year, 2014, he has been undergoing a trial in a court of law. Arrested, charged with 12 counts of indecent assault and 4 of making indecent images of children. The 3 alleged victims were aged between 7 and 19 at the time. He denies any wrongdoing, has strenuously denied the charges against him, and as I said, this is an ongoing trial, so again I will say you are innocent until found guilty in a court of law, in front of a jury of your peers, I believe is as the wording goes. So all these people are innocent unless found guilty in a court of law. I'm wanting to cover my ass because I don't want any lawsuits with that. But it's a major scandal that's going on in the UK, and it really is ridiculous. If even half of these things that are true, it really is ridiculous. A bit of news as well from Glasgow. If we take a sip, actually. Just take a sip of milk. A bit of news from Glasgow, Scotland. And this is really sad news. The Glasgow School of Art had a massive and severely damaging fire on the 23rd of May, just over a week ago. Certainly one of Glasgow's most famous buildings often considered the masterpiece of Charles Rene Mackintosh. It was built between 1897 and 1909. There are about two kind of different sections of the building, built at different times. It was a severe fire. First, it came out that there was something going on there. Obviously, it is part of the Glasgow University, so it's education centre. It's, as it says, the Glasgow School of Art. It's painting, from painting to fashion to sculpture, to many different forms of modern art as well. It houses many courses. The building was very quickly attended to by obviously fire services, other emergency services like the police, ambulance. Thankfully, nobody was hurt in this incident. According to the Wikipedia page, apparently the fire began in the basement, quickly spread upwards, and that certainly seemed the case. The pictures we saw very quickly on the news because of the BBC Scotland and their news team are based in Glasgow. They were very quickly on scene. A lot of pictures were going up on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm sure they're still there. You can see the fire flames shooting out the broken windows. The fire broke out as students were preparing for their degree show, fashion degree show. Thankfully, I said no injuries, no casualties in this. It seemed that everybody got out quickly. Apparently, it's been reported that a projector may have exploded in the basement of the building just before 12:30 p.m. Pictures and video have been up on BBC Report in Scotland over the last couple of days, which is the British Broadcasting Scottish news service. Here in the UK, it's got like the UK news, say from 6 to 6:30 p.m. and at 6:30 p.m. we get the news in our local area. For Scotland, it's just basically reporting Scotland for the whole of the country, and they were able to access it over the last couple of days and broadcast live from that. Go and film stuff and then show it later on their 6:30 broadcast and bulletin. The parts that were affected were really burnt out. The world famous library there is gone. A lot of priceless, expensive items have been completely destroyed. It's just such a sad situation to see all of that going on. I'm sure you could probably look online to see the aftermath. Obviously, outside the UK, you will not be able to view it on, like, say, BBC iPlayer. I don't even think you can do it in the UK, unfortunately. But the report in Scotland, the local news, doesn't seem to be much available lately. But still, a really sad situation to see so many artifacts, so many things burnt and destroyed forever. Like I said, thankfully though, there was no casualties. Everybody, for however the alarm was raised, managed to get out safely. The area was obviously cordoned off while emergency service were doing their thing, trying to get the fire under control. Obviously, that causes some damage as well. What people don't realise sometimes it's not the fire that causes some of the damage. It's the actual extinction of the fire by the fire services, obviously using foam and water and such forth. They had to do that obviously because it's a huge building. If they let the fire continue, it was not a case of being able to let it burn out because of the contents of the building, the danger to the building structure itself. It could be a very dangerous situation, so obviously, they have to put the fire out. So it was a really sad. It's a really sad situation. You may probably be able to look online for video and footage of the after effects of that Glasgow School of Art fire. It's a really sad situation. On to worldwide news. Last couple of bits. Russia, Ukraine, Crimea situation. Now this is a horrid situation as well. Obviously, Russia annexing Crimea. This is a dangerous situation because I know that Crimea was apparently going to vote on whether they wanted, because Crimea was at least an area of the Ukraine, the country of Ukraine, and they were going to vote whether they wanted independence, which a lot of people thought would have them rejoin the country of Russia instead of, like, say, Crimea, a new country, go back and go and join Russia, because that whole area was obviously split up and divided after the Cold War, after the fall of communism, the fall, the fall of the USSR, and all that, many years ago now. But it seems that certainly Russia, I believe it's Russian supported troops entered Crimea, took over the area. It was lost to Ukraine, and this is a really dangerous, violent situation. Many battles, many people have been killed, and it seems that even certainly pro-Russian separatists are seemingly attempting to infiltrate the Ukraine. They've launched assaults on areas like Donetsk airport. I know the Russian President Vladimir Putin has said, no, this is not Russia, no, this is not our troops, these are separatists, these are people not anything to do with us. I think it's possible that they are something to do with Russia. I'm not going to say that sit here and say, oh, all of Russia's bad, all Russians are bad. Oh, it's like a James Bond movie where US and the UK allies are the good guys and the Russians are the bad guys, and it's all such black and white situation. It's not. It's possible that these guys are not anything to do with Russia, but to be honest, myself, personally, my opinion, I highly doubt it. I'm not saying they're acting for every single Russian, but certainly on the, I think possibly on the orders of Vladimir Putin. I would certainly say that obviously there have been talks of peace, and Ukraine have actually had their elections that were already scheduled months ago. Their new president is Petro Poroshenko, who made a billionaire who made his fortune producing chocolate. I really do hope that somebody finds a way, the UN or some envoy or some group managed to actually bring about some kind of, I can't remember what, treaties, a peace contract to get that area back to, I don't know, if Crimea want to rejoin Russia, that is fine, but my fear is that if the borders of the Ukraine and Russian troops have been right at the border between Russia, Crimea and the Ukraine for quite a few weeks now, although Putin said in recent weeks that he would withdraw troops from the border. I do hope NATO or the UN or somebody can get in there and try to sign some kind of treaty, try to calm the area down, because we are now approaching, and I will be marking this on my channel, of course. I don't know how. I'll probably just put up a video with some photographs or something and music or something. I don't know exactly how, but we are coming up to the 100th anniversary, the centenary of the breakout of the First World War, and this is something we do not want to go down this path again, to have World War III. I mean, ever since 1945, when when the Second World War ended, people have been in fear of a Third World War, because obviously in the First World War, even people say it now, it was the Great War or the war to end all wars, but it wasn't, of course. Everybody knows World War II started in 1939, went to 1945. Everybody knows all that stuff, but it's a real fear, especially with this economics turmoil in Europe and in the European area. This could be leading to something. I do hope it, like I said, I hope it doesn't. I'm sure there's many leaders that are really, hopefully, got their heads on straight and realise, and hopefully, even if they're not quite realising that with this upcoming centenary anniversary of the First World War, they realise that this is something that we do not want to repeat. But certainly, it's a very dangerous situation in the east of Europe just now. Now, talking about annexing or independence, I just want to mention this quickly because the debates are heating up. The referendum on whether Scotland should be an independent country is coming up really fast. I made my views on this already made. I've already made this. I've already made my views known. I am fully supportive of an independent Scotland. I want people, in my opinion, to vote yes on September 18th, 2014, which is when the referendum will take place. It's a Thursday. Not because it's any English thing or anything like that, but certainly listen to the radio, and I could go on for. I'm going to try and keep this not too long. This video. I know I said it would at the start. I would go on for some time because these are topics I really have wanted to cover for some time. It's not an anti-English thing because like I've said before, I've got English friends. I know people that support. I just believe it is time, and it's a long history lesson if you want to go into it. Again, this is something I'd rather be best left to any viewer to go ahead and look up on Google it, to look on the line on the line. Oh, we watched that internship movie last night. If you look online and you go through the whole British Commonwealth and how the UK took over the world, and then countries like Australia and the United States and India and all of those broke away from UK rule, British rule. It's really my opinion that I think Scotland needs to push themselves forward, and independence is the way to do it. Obviously, I've said before, so I've made my opinions clear. Scotland's country will still be against terrorism, will still be for justice, and would be a dictatorship, will be a republic, I think it's called. Anyway, an independent with no monarchy. Will, although the Queen will still be kind of figurehead kind of thing, just because of the history and obviously all the tourism as well, the money that tourism brings. We won't be shutting that down completely. We'll still be looking out to help. If we were independent, we'd be still looking out to help England and Ireland, especially the Republic of Northern Ireland, with their situation still ongoing. It's not as violent as it used to be when I was growing up, thankfully, in the 1980s, but to help settle matters peacefully, and any, like I said, any terrorism and things, and to go through for a just world. That's what Scotland would still be looking for. So there's certainly not, because actually one of the main political parties in the United Kingdom, the Conservative Party, also known as the Tories, is a nickname of theirs, which is too long to go into, but they kind of want the UK to withdraw from Europe. That's the wrong way. That is certainly not the way Scotland is looking to go either. They want to kind of withdraw from Europe, but that again, even Alex Salmond, the First Minister of Scotland, who is really leading the push for the yes vote, the Scottish National Party, and I say it's not a racist party. It's not it's not it's not what they call it, like encouraging physical violence. It's purely political party, doing things peacefully and justly. Whatever you think about them, they don't encourage, but they really, they do not encourage. There's no group of people who do any physical stuff, physical violence or incidents that they encourage them. It's not like say the British National Party or UKIP or any other political party in the UK like that really tries to do physical violence or really to generate hate towards a particular group of people, or people of different ethnicities, background. identities. They're not at all like that. They're purely a political party that wants to push Scotland forward. And I do believe that they, lifelong SNP supporter, they do generally want what's best for the country. And I do believe, like I said, it's just to push Scotland as a country forward. Independence, I think, is the right way to go, to rule ourselves, to start putting a firm grip on our own troubles. We've got troubles, alcoholism and obesity and the general troubles of a developing country. But certainly, I would say that is, in my opinion, certainly the way forward for Scotland to vote yes on Thursday, the 18th of September. So that's going to leave it quite there, because it's gone on 35 minutes already, which is a heck of a long video. I know some people don't like to watch videos of this length, and if you have watched it, thank you. But I don't do this to get loads of views. I don't do this really for any other reason for myself to have a place where I can air my opinions, my thoughts. Also, I don't speak for anybody else. It's generally these videos are myself sitting here airing my views, airing my opinions. I do not speak for anybody else, any company, any other other entity. Nobody else's opinions are on these videos except myself or anybody who appears on these videos, which is very, very, very rare. I've had a couple of interview things, but certainly, that's my opinion. Again, anybody of all the allegations of Operation YEWTREE and anything I mentioned earlier, they are all innocent until found guilty in a court of law by a jury of their peers. So, that's really the blood top. A lot of concerns going on in the world. So much stuff. I could sit here for a couple of hours probably talking about a lot of stuff and gabbering on. A very quick final note before I go. I will just say that just come up with just when I was getting ready to do this video. My friends at Discovery Wrestling, they've put on their Facebook page that they will be making an announcement tonight at approximately 9 p.m. Regarding their first ever event, which will be a television taping. So when they'll announce details of their first event. The television taping currently scheduled for October 11th. Tonight at 9 p.m. So when they do make the announcement, I will be on here tomorrow and I will run down anything that is announced, any details, anything that they release publicly. It will be unfortunate until because of the time of doing a couple of things today and different family things. It's going to be tomorrow, but if they do whatever they do announce tonight, I will actually let everybody know in a video tomorrow. Whatever their announcement is. There's supposedly a couple of international names. This will be a really good professional wrestling event to attend in October. Looking forward to it. They already announced Colt Cabana for this event. I don't know whether he's still attending due to the different date of the show, depending on his bookings obviously. But anything they announce, anything that they let people know, I will let people know on this YouTube channel tomorrow. So if you have, and I doubt very few people have watched this entire video because it's so long, thank you very much. Thank you for your continued support of this channel if you do watch it. Like I said, many topics I wanted to discuss. I could have put them in a couple of videos, but just to be honest, simply I do not have the time to sit and make every single video, every single different topic. I try to do it as quick as I can. There's a lot of topics, a lot of terms of discussion. So, as I said, any major news, as always, any major news, any big incidents, anything that goes on within the world of wrestling or beyond, I let people know, and I will keep up to date with everybody. Like I said, in Discovery Wrestling, and for a final quick note, on Saturday, this coming Saturday, May 31st, Scottish Wrestling Entertainment are holding their next uprising event at the Arthur Complex here in Dundee, Scotland. A couple of great matches signed already for that show. If you're a wrestling fan, please attend. If you haven't attended any local independent wrestling events, if they're a decent company, please attend them and help support your local professional wrestlers.